interception. 12 plays. They took 707 off the board. Pagel to the cube, 7 yards. And Gerald McNeil is having a little hot fun in the summertime here at the stadium tonight. And now Mike Norseth is warming, and that may have been the last action of the night for Mike Pagel.
Pagel, 6 of 11, Casey, 57 yards.
Gopher kicks off. And it's taken by McAdoo. And a good hit and another good hit there. Will Hill again. And he has been outstanding on special teams tonight. That's twice he's gone down to hammer a return man. 14 yards on the return.
Will Hill is one of those young players that's got a shot. He could do it either in special teams or as a coverage man in terms of being a situation defensive back. Browns coaches like him.
1st and 10 on the 19. Browns with the lead, 21-16. 1:41 left, third quarter. Kent Austin is still in at quarterback. Play action. Wants to go deep. Throws in and out of the hands of Troy Johnson. Incomplete. Nick Miller and Mark Harper were back on the coverage.
Well, one of the problems for the St. Louis Cardinals, as you see their offensive line working, that's Derek Kennard from the USFL at center there working on his man, but they have been unsettled on the offensive line. And a year ago, I believe they allowed more sacks in the NFL than all but perhaps 2 teams, so they got to work a lot on their protection of the quarterback.
That last touchdown by the cube has really got the fans up and going here at the stadium.
Now they're just warming up for Aretha.
Wolfley, the ball carrier, gets nothing.
Nick Miller.
From behind, a little help from Harper and Bullitt, but it was Nick Miller who dragged him down from behind, and Wolfley has got pretty good speed.
Well, here's a situation where Wolfley is a Pro Bowler as a special teams man. He's a devastating blocker. As a ball carrier, he's okay, but he's not that skilled. His forte is blocking. And Nick Miller, there's another one of the kids on IR last year.
3rd down and 10. Shotgun formation for the Cardinals at the 19-yard line. Austin with time throws over the head of Troy Johnson, incomplete, and the Cardinals will have to kick it away. Stephen Bragg's right there.
Stephen Bragg's the 6th rounder from Texas. He played all 4 defensive backfield positions in college. He's a versatile young player. And he is one of the finds of Chip Fallavine and company.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, have a seat, said Stephen. The cube. Back deep for the Browns. That's John Bruno, the number 5 pick, the rookie punter from Penn State. And he gets it away, and this one's short, and the cube is going to let it hit. No, he's not. He's going to pick it up
too soon
and pay the price. Wolfley was down there under the coverage. 43 seconds remaining. That was a 41-yard punt, no return.
All this part of a triple header, Casey. The Browns and Cards, fireworks followed by Aretha.
Mike Norseth is going to take the Browns offense over for the remainder of the game. Number 7 pick in '86, as John mentioned, was injured late in camp last year and spent the season on the injured reserve.
I'll tell you how they got Mr. Norseth in just a minute.
1st and 10, Browns at their own 38. And Mike going to put it up right away. Tim Manoa makes the catch and gets maybe a couple. And I'll tell you what, Bubba Baker was really closing in on Mike Norseth. I'm sorry, that was Rod Sadler. Look at him shove. I'm not sure who that was, right back in Norseth's face. Manoa did a nice job of putting the ball away.
Norseth out of Kansas, injured reserve all of last year, learned under Bernie and Danielson.
And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. The clock, 5 seconds, and they're not going to even bother to try to run another play. It's official now. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Browns 21, St. Louis 16.
Come on out to Hertz Car Sales and see this winning team for your next car. we sell a great selection of Fords, General Motors, and some import cars too. Our low fixed prices mean no haggle, no hassle. All prices are right on the window sticker, and every Hertz car comes with our 12-month, 12,000-mile limited powertrain warranty with no deductible. Join the Hertz sales team and pick your car from our large inventory. 2 locations, Brook Park and Bedford. See the guys in the yellow ties.
In the next session of Divorce Court.
As soon as I started to make more money than Mark, he got resentful.
She said that I was typical of what was wrong with the police force, that I was so flabby. It was a wonder that a criminal ever got apprehended.
His defensiveness turned to hostility.
She called me a trigger-happy rookie in bed.
He said, "Come on, Superman, you're real good at being a man. You're just no good at being a woman."
Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30 on TV8.
My brother's friend Rick wanted to do something special for him for his birthday. He bought him some crack. Maybe it was bad stuff. Maybe they just couldn't handle it. That was 2 years ago. Today. Sometimes I think Rick was a lucky one. He died. Happy birthday, buddy.
A reminder that 1 week from Saturday night, the Browns will be coming to you live from the Meadowlands in New Jersey as the Browns take on the Giants right here as we begin the 4th quarter. The Browns on top 21-16. Much better quarter, in fact probably the Browns' best quarter, and was the Gerald McNeil show. Butch Woolfolk, number 40 in the game for the Browns. Norseth back to pass over the middle, incomplete. The ball was intended for Vito Cav.
Vito Cav is the veteran free agent that the Browns picked up. He's a Penn State guy as well. Spent early part of his career with the Eagles. Spent some time with the New York Giants, and says the attitude on the Browns' part this year in training camp is even better than he remembers as a part of the New York Giants. Vito is a strong blocker, and he showed some pretty good hands, what we have seen in training camp.
3rd down 9 from the 39. Albert Bell and Perry Kemp now are both in the game. Norseth retreats. Bubba Baker is right there. Almost intercepted, but knocked away. Lonnie Young was right there. The ball intended for Perry Kemp, and the Browns are going to have to kick, and that'll bring on Jeff Gossett.
Now, there is a rule this year, Casey, in the NFL. Once the ball is thrown, the defensive guy can take 1 step at the most before hitting the quarterback. Let's see if this replay shows it. Throws, boom, that's 1 step. He was all right there.
That's legal, although Mike Norseth would give you...
My question is, how are they going to be able to watch the feet, the officials?
Don Holmes back deep for the Cardinals. Gossett gets it away. A wobbly kick. It's going to land short. Holmes is going to... should have picked it up. It's inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. It'll be down there. Well, Mr. Holmes just cost the Cardinals about 15 yards, a 45-yard punt. So with 14:36 remaining in the game, there's a timeout on the field. 21-16 Browns.
Nothing cuts through thirst like Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Now available at Brevco, 32-ounce size, only 79 cents.
Quench it! Gatorade is thirsty for that deep down body thirst.
See the guys in the yellow ties. For a great selection of late model cars and a 12,000-mile limited warranty, Hertz Auto Sales, Brook Park and Bedford. Why take chances when you can buy a Hertz?
Look what you can do with just 1 hour. You can take your favorite celebrity out of the limelight and let them share their personal side. You can make a change for the better, or a change just for the fun of it. You can celebrate a victory, discover what's important to your friends and neighbors, or just relax and let the hour take its course. Where can you do so much in just 1 hour? Only one place, Our Magazine. I'm Gary Collins. Join me for the liveliest hour of your day on Our Magazine, weekday mornings at 9, right here on TV8.
but I got a great idea. These vines and hooks will keep the whole family in place. Buckle up, everybody. I just invented seat belts. Yappa dabba doo. Fred buckles up, so should you.
I would imagine at this point that the Cardinal coaching staff is hoping that Cliff Stout returns soon on the night. Ken Austin, who remains at quarterback, 2 of 8 with an interception and only 33 yards through the air. Eric Grain and Vi Sikahema are the running backs as the Cardinals start on their own 15-yard line. 1st and 10, 14:36 remaining. It's 21-16 Browns. Austin, nice fake, wide open to Drain. And he takes it out across the 25, just over the 30-yard line. Stephen Braggs, Curtis Weathers also there to make the stop. 15-yard pickup, so it'll be 1st and 10 St. Louis, the ball on the 32. Actually, since the second quarter, John, we have not had a lot of flags. It's been a fairly clean game and has been injury-free, knock on wood, to this point. Play action again. Austin wanted to go deep, now goes over the middle, and Nick Miller intercepts the ball. He's at the 40, to the 35, and down the sideline to the 32-yard line. Nick Miller with a big interception.
He's the kid from Arkansas who they liked so much a year ago. He did injure his knee and had to sit out the year on the injured reserve list.
Here it is again, trying to put it over the linebackers and inside the safeties, and Nick went up and got it, showing great athletic skill.
Well, both your inside backers with those straight back drops.
Brown's second interception of the night, second of the second half. 1st and 10, Norseth at quarterback. They're at the St. Louis 31-yard line.
Will Mr. Woolfolk touch the ball?
Not this time. It's Tim Manoa. That's Butch Woolfolk, pardon me.
For one thing you can tell, they're really digging up the stadium turf, Case. You see those guys out there, some of the maintenance guys, it's like they're on a golf course. Look at those divots there. And this is the grass that's been there since early April. This was planted grass. This is not sod we're talking about.
It's an official timeout. They want it repaired. It looks like me on an approach. They're going to fix up the field now.
See every one of those holes? That's what I would lay down just trying to hit a wood out of the fairway. I cannot play that game of golf. You sure this isn't the carpet on indoor soccer we're talking about?
I'll tell you what, though, David Fry's guys are doing a pretty quick job of it. Quick hands there, agility. They flew out onto the field.
Well, that's the area that Brett Butler patrols in center field for the Indians, and Mr. Butler does not weigh 280 pounds like some of these offensive linemen.
Pickup before for Butch Woolfolk on his first carry, so it'll be 2nd and 6 on the Cardinal 27. Here's the handoff to Larry Mason. Check it, Major Everett, and he gets down to about the 25-yard line. Couple on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. We got a flag on the play. Have a discussion and see what it is. The Cardinals are acting as though it's against them. They're backing up.
Major Everett a year ago. All right, let's take a look at it, Casey.
It's Travis Jackson, number 21. There's Major. Looks clean so far.
Nothing around the ball carrier that looked different.
Away from the ball. Might have been when he was tied up on the play with Terry Greer. That'll give the Browns a 1st down. They're knocking on the door again. 13-yard line of St. Louis.
See if we get all 3 quarterbacks to score.
Norseth on the draw to the Major, and he's inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Everett was an excellent special teams player for the Eagles and played with now defensive backfield coach Bill Cowher in the Eagles organization. And he was brought here in mid-season a year ago.
Ron Monaco and Mark Geralchik there on the stop. Monaco, and then he got some help. Monaco 5 on the play. It's 2nd and 5 from the 8. So again, the Browns can get a first down without a touchdown here. And again, it's the Major, and he's across the 5 down to the 4-yard line. Ilya Jurashchuk. I studied that all week. I was going to mention that guy's name, whether he did anything or not.
Whether he's on the sideline just helping out the coaches. Everett, the ball carrier.
The Major. We've got a king and a major on the Browns. King Simmons, of course.
Well, Major does a few things in the off-season. He's got his own company that restores old homes.
Major's from Mississippi College in his 5th year. Played formerly with the Eagles and in the Useful. 3rd down and 1. And the give is to Butch Woolfolk, and he's got the first down, I believe. Good surge by the left side of the Browns front line. Gruber is under there.
I don't know if we had a mention about Bob Gruber so far, but here is a guy that was waived 3 times by the Browns and has come back.
And Larry Williams was also underneath Butch. And they're going to measure.
A lot of speculation, a lot of people wondering why the Houston Oilers gave up on Butch Woolfolk. It seemed to be a philosophical parting of the mind, so to speak. And Woolfolk said this week why, I asked him why the ball club is not doing well, why Houston has not won. He said they beat themselves all the time. You see a first down there.
First down and goal. And I'll tell you what else is interesting about Butch. You would think logically, because the Lions offered more money than the Browns did, the Lions don't have a deep running back situation like the Browns do. He played at Michigan. And a lot of guys say, well, I wanted to play with a winner, but obviously Butch meant it when he said it.
He wants a ring. He also had Indianapolis to consider. Didn't go there either.
And there's the handoff to Butch, and he's going to outrun everybody. We've got a flag down.
I saw the man ahead of him, Gerald Bayless, number 99.
I think they're going to bring this one back. And that is going to set the Browns back deep. Ike Redden.
He did follow his man. That's Emil Boers of the Browns, the former Pittsburgh Steeler lineman. Watch 99 on the top of your screen. We're not talking infraction here, but he makes a nice block on the outside guy to allow Woolfolk to go in, although it's for nothing, so to speak. Bayless, number 99, is out of Bowling Green. He's a free agent, and he never had a tight end coach until his senior year. He used to have that McClure throw to him. Now he's got a tall guy named Kozar.
It's 1st and goal from the 13 now. Major Everett is the lone setback. Greer and Clarence Weathers are the wideouts. And here's the draw to Major, and he's got room, and he's got a touchdown.
Obviously, they set that up well, Casey.
The Major takes it in from 13 yards out. Nice block, George Lilja. Nice block, Larry Williams. And I'll tell you what, very often it's the case, John, from inside the 5-yard line, it's very tough to score. Face mask on the official. That'll be 15 yards.
Let's run that one back here. Watch Larry Williams, number 70. Little hesitation.
He grabbed his
Get
face
out of my
mask,
way.
John.
He did.
Well, he's going to be talked to. Jeff JAEGER puts it up and through. So, with 11.5 exactly left in the game, there's a timeout on the field with a score. Browns 28, St. Louis 16.
Ever Chevy Olds in Ravenna breaks through with cost-busting savings like you've never seen before. And to find those savings, you come just west of State Route 14 at 59 to 1340 East Main Street for this 1984 Mercury Cougar Automatic Air Power Cruise More. Look, just $99 down, only $179 a month, and here's more. This 1983 Ford LTD Brougham with air is only $99 down, $118 a month. Come on in, save money today with us at Havers Chevy Olds Ravenna.
Next on Taxi, Latka goes through a personality change.
Partner, I'm as finished as a white suit on a sissy who's been wrestling a half-breed in pig slop.
And Alex convinces him to see a psychiatrist, where they discover a new identity.
Who was he? Alex, he's you.
But when Latka takes Alex's personality, Alex flips his lid on Taxi.
Thank you very much. Taxi, tomorrow night at 11:30 on TV8.
Share the spirit of TV8.
This is Lieutenant Kojak, Manhattan South.
Midnights, it's Kojak. One tough cop for one tough city.
Look, I'm going to spell it out for you, mister. You are hindering justice.
And at 1 a.m., it's the team that can tackle the problems in paradise.
And that's my job.
Hawaii 5-0.
You better know that name.
Kojak at midnight, Hawaii 5-0 at 1 a.m. Teaming up late nights.
Share the spirit of TV8.
Nick Miller's interception set up a 6-play, 31-yard drive. The Major Everett, a 13-yard run. And the Browns are on top, 28-16, 11.5 remaining in the game.
Here is the replay of the touchdown. The influence to the right and Everett breaking it off left. Watch Larry Williams get a hand in his face by the official, and Everett just legs it into the end zone.
Jeff Jaeger kicks it off. And it's going to be Derek McAdoo at the 10, to the 20, to the 25-yard line.
I think I saw Mr. Manoa in there. We will hear that number a lot this year.
Nick Miller and Tim Manoa along with the Major. Good special teams play by the Browns tonight. That was a 17-yard return.
We are being swept by the wave as we speak.
The Browns began the second half trailing 16-14. The Cube, a 54-yard punt return. The Cube, a 7-yard touchdown pass from Pagel. And now a 13-yard run by Major Everett.
One of the safeties is King Simmons. He's another young player on injured reserve last year.
1st and 10, St. Louis at the 28. And there's the handoff to Vi Sikahema. He gets a couple of yards. Mike Johnson is there.
James White
helping out.
And there you see a true wave, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier in the game, it was just an undertow. Now it is an authentic wave.
James White, I'm sure, was recommended to the Browns by Bert Schottenheimer, Marty's brother, when he was at LSU. Ken Austin still at quarterback. Pickup of 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Austin back to pass. It's a screen to Sikahema, and he's got room, and he's got a lot of room, and he may take it. He's across midfield. He fumbles the ball. Browns take over. We'll have to wait. Al Gross. It was Al Gross. For so many years, Al was #1 in takeaways on the Browns defense.
2 years in a row, Casey, Al Gross had 5 interceptions to lead the team. A year ago, he picked up a fumble in the end zone against the Bears to open up the year, but then was injured, and we never saw him again.
Sikahema had room at this point.
He was tripped up there by King Simmons, 26.
And Curtis Weathers forced the fumble, and Al Gross was right there.
Well, the Browns have turned 2 interceptions into scores. Let's see what they do with a fumble recovery.
They've cashed in all 3 times, which is nice no matter who's out there. Mike Norseth at quarterback, and Mike is going to throw. Pressure, sack. Al Baker. And Stafford Mays, number 16s and 72. There for the loss.
You know, the key there was the man coverage of the Cardinals, just not much room to throw. And Bubba Baker on the right side, just getting outside. Is that Bob Gruber? Yes.
Yeah, Pete Gruber. An 11-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down, 21 at the 36. .20 remaining in the game. Norseth going to put it up again, and here comes Baker again, and Norseth goes deep, and there's nobody there but a Cardinal.
He unloads it, and is that a flag? Or is that another divot we see?
Cedric Mack was the only guy there, explaining to his teammate how he got turned around.
Norseth, in one college ball game, threw for 480 yards against Vanderbilt. He at one time went 175 passes in a row without an interception. As you see, Perry Kemp, that's Commodore Perry Kemp, the full name, checking in to Norseth and the offensive line.
3rd down and 21.
64 there is Frank Winters, a young offensive lineman drafted this year.
3 wide receivers in the game. Here comes Baker again. Norseth is going deep, and he's got Perry Kemp open and overthrows him. That'll bring up 4th down, and here comes Jeff Gossett and the punting crew, and I don't think they're going to get that football back.
Well, here's that 40-second clock, Casey. 40 seconds after the play is over, you have to get the ball off. Now, had that been, let's say, 2nd down, and the wide receiver has a long way to go back to the line, to the huddle, then to the line of scrimmage. That's where the problem lies in this experiment so far here in the preseason.
Don Holmes is deep. Of course, probably if a receiver went that deep, he would run to the bench.
For oxygen.
Jeff Gossett has had the ball roll his way tonight. He kicks a nice high one. Good hang time. Fielded at the 26. We got a flag on the play. Holmes takes it a couple of yards. And Scotty Nicholas was there. So was Clay Matthews. Let's see what the flag is. Mike Johnson is still on the ground and is still on the ground. Gets up slowly. He bangs something. He does not.
Like a right knee, per se? Yep.
Mike has had an excellent game tonight. That was the 38-yard punt, 7-yard return.
Jeff Gossett, a year ago, had 2 games that the fans really got on his case about. Well, let me check that. More than a year ago, he had the playoff game against Miami, and then last year against Houston in very bad conditions. Tough wind to punt against. But a lot of fans did not forget that. So anytime he gets off a tough punt, he is going to hear about it. But he's never had one blocked, and his predecessor could not brag about that.
Although Friday night, Steve Cox did kick a 56-yard field goal.
Well, we know he can boot the long field goal. There's no doubt about that.
Kick it again. With the offsetting penalties, 9:52 left. Let's see if we can see it. It came on the at the bottom of your screen near the Browns bench.
Right
and
here,
there,
defensive
boom.
man, retaliation on Hoggard's part. No, Dede, try to get by him. Watch what they do to try to hold him up.
Well, let's see what happens. It was a 38-yard punt, 7-yard return.
Much better hang time.
Taking it to 26, ball's loose. Browns, let's see. Browns say they have it. And who came up with it? Felix Wright. Well, I'll take that. 39-yard punt. Felix brother Charles plays for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was drafted on the 10th round this past season. He's not seen action, however, yet. Holmes, I don't think, ever got a grip on this ball. It goes right through him. And Felix was right there. And so is Tim Manoah. I'll tell you what, based on tonight, if Manoah were not a real impressive runner, which he is, or at least has been in camp, he would certainly have a shot at this team because of his special teams play.
He'll play a lot there, no doubt.
So the fact he does both looks like a pretty good choice. Here's Butch, and he gets nothing, and that play was stuffed nicely by Mark Oralchik. And we've got a player down, and it's a Brown. And let's see who it is.
It could...
Emil Boers.
It's Emil Boers, the former Steeler. Signed as a free agent this year.
He played 4 years with Pittsburgh, was a 7th-round selection by the Steelers.
So far tonight, St. Louis, 4 fumbles. They've lost 2 of them, 2 interceptions, 4 turnovers. As you see the play, perhaps we can see Boers go down.
He goes right. It's tough when you're on the ground and you've got people landing on you.
It looked like Woolfolk just ran right into him as well, and that may have caused that injury.
Don't forget, next Saturday night, live from the Meadowlands at 8 o'clock on TV8, the Browns and the Super Bowl champion Giants.
And before that case, Vince Cellini and Dan Coughlin will be back in the studio next Saturday night at 7:30 to bring you the inside look at the ball game that we're going to carry against the Giants at the Meadowlands. That, of course, is Sports Center 8 Today, Browns edition. That's next Saturday at 8. The kickoff will be at 8 o'clock. The pregame show with Casey and with Vinny will be at 7:30. Casey and Vinny, Danny and Vinny. Casey and I will come to you live from Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands for a matchup that should have taken place last January. As you see, the injured man come off the field, Emil Boers.
Obviously his left leg. And I would imagine we might see Paul Farron. There it is again. Yeah, he got that leg twisted up pretty good. An injury-free game till this point.
We have a couple of the frontline offensive linemen back in there. You see Ricky Bolden. Norseth still in at quarterback.
It's 2nd down 11 at the St. Louis 27 following the fumble recovery by Felix Wright. 28-16 Browns.
I know some time ago, Casey, I mentioned Norseth and how did the Browns get him. Remember Boyce Green? Boyce Green, the fine running back the Browns had. They traded him to Kansas City on draft day, used that pick they got from the Chiefs to get Mike Norseth.
Norseth is going to put it up. And here comes Al Baker again. He almost, at this point, incomplete for Manoa, are mentioning. And Al Baker tipped the ball, and he's a veteran and has had some outstanding seasons. In fact, the year he had 11 sacks for the Lions, they traded him the next year.
This guy's averaged 13 sacks a year. But as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he held out in '86, and then this year he seemed to do what's the going thing. He held out again.
3rd down and 11 at the 27. Well, if he averages 13 and he only had 11, no wonder they got rid of him. Norseth back to pass, and that time Ricky Bolden stuffed him at the line of scrimmage, complete to the major. It's going to be short of the 1st down. E.J. Jr. on the tackle. Going to be 4th down, and the punting unit coming on. No, Jeff Jaeger is going to get his first long attempt. And I mean long. They spot the ball at the 27, 34, a 44-yard attempt.
I wish you had a shot there of Jeff Gossett throwing 2 big divots across the field. If that wasn't me on the golf course, I don't know what is.
Gossett will hold 44 yards.
Not much wind.
Kick is up. It's got the distance. And it is good. And Jaeger's going to get handshakes all around on the sidelines, and I'll bet he's very glad that one's out of the way. 44-yard field goal by Jeff Jaeger. And the Browns are on top 31-16.
Casey, Jaeger in his career at the University of Washington hit for 80% field goals. That's a tremendous mark. As you see the lineup, the snap, the hold, and the kick, no question whatsoever about that one. Jaeger 85% inside the 50-yard line.
That young man in the huddle is Marty's brother, Kurt,
who, if you close your eyes and hear both of them speak, you can't tell which one is talking. They really do sound alike.
3 plays. They picked up a yard, but converted the 44-yard field goal. And the Browns are having their way with the St. Louis Cardinals, who virtually have self-destructed now. Ray Ellis has had an interception. Nick Miller an interception. Al Gross a fumble recovery. Felix Wright a fumble recovery. All here in the second half.
They are still working on the field right now, Casey. Getting some of those divots up. As the Cardinals come out in the field, JAEGER to kick it off. Again, earlier in the broadcast, we mentioned the new rule. If JAEGER is to kick this ball out of bounds, the other team can get the ball either 30 yards from the kickoff spot or where the ball goes out of bounds.
Emil Bors is being taken off on a golf cart. And let's hope it's not serious. Jeff JAEGER, who just converted the 44-yarder to kick off. And he's a little bit pumped as McAdoo fields it at the 5. Brings it up the middle, leaves his feet, and takes it across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And once again, Will Hill is there to make the stop. That's 3 consecutive St. Louis kickoff returns, and Will Hill has been right there.
Well, let's see who's going to be in defensively for the Browns. You've got the young cornerbacks. You've got Mark Harper on the right side, Stephen Braggs, number 36, the rookie, on the left side, and King Simmons is one safety. The other is Al Gross.
And apparently we're not going to see Halloran tonight because Austin throws it incomplete, intended for Eric Drain. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the St. Louis 27.
Well, Gene Stallings' threat of cutting down to 50 guys after this ball game may come true. I doubt that will happen. You have to have people for camp for your drills, but he wants to get off on the right foot. A couple of years ago, they tried like heck to win their first game, and they did here against the Browns. They needed that win, but they've had 2 bad years.
Paul Constantino from Duke, who's a rookie free agent, played with Mike Junkin at Duke. Flag for holding.
So here come the Cardinals. Down by 15 here in the latter stages of this one.
First down and 20 on the 17. Austin back to pass. Takes the short drop. It throws. Incomplete. Steve Bullitt was right there on the coverage. Intended for George Schwarn from Miami. There's Emil Bors. And he's upset. He's just gone through 2-a-day workouts.
You've got some of the veterans getting a little more work here. Hanford Dixon in. The Browns have the 2 linebackers with the 4-man front, 5 defensive backs.
Austin to Sworn. Check it, Eric Drain, and he finds running room, and he's across the 25, and he is rattled there by Sam Clancy. There's a 2nd man there. And
Stephen Braggs tried to level him,
Felix
but I think
Wright.
It looked like Stephen Braggs then just bounced off him like a fly.
Well, Eric Drain is listed at 210, but he sure looks a lot bigger than 210.
Boom, there's Braggs. And they say you see stars. I think he's seeing a constellation at this moment.
Say that was a draining hit. 3rd down and 11 at the 26. Austin looks, throws in and out of the hands of Donald Narcisse, who the Cardinals think an awful lot of, but apparently not enough to have him play much at all tonight. Braggs was back there on the coverage, and he was pretty much right there with him. So the Cards are going to have to kick it away.
Casey, we haven't seen Kelly Stauffer. He has not signed. He's their rookie quarterback that they raised a lot of heads in St. Louis when Gene Stallings drafted this kid, unheralded. A lot of people, including some assistant coaches who refused to be named, saying, we drafted a bunch of no-names. So there is some controversy in St. Louis about their club.
Well, in case you're wondering, John did not mispronounce his name. It's spelled like the Stofers here in town, but it's pronounced Stoffers. And the fact of the matter is,
team there.
The fact of the matter is, too many men on the field. field for St. Louis as Greg Cater goes back to punt. But some teams had Stauffer charted about a third or a fourth round pick. He's had a history of problems, and of course the Cards' big need was defense. A wobbly kick, Cube's gonna pick it up, and he's got a little bit of daylight but takes it straight out of bounds. A 5-yard return. Ron Monaco was there, a 42-yard punt, and the Browns will take over in pretty good field position.
And once again, we'll see Mike Norseth in there, engineering the offense at the Browns. Well, I think my star of the game is the Cube. I don't know about you, Case.
Oh, I'd have to go with the Cube. Butch Woolfolk in motion. The handoff to Major Everett up the middle. He cracks it out over the 45 to the 47-yard line.
You see number 56 there for the Browns, one of the offensive linemen. That's Colity. And it's kind of interesting that that number, 56, was given to an offensive lineman.
You know,
56 used to be worn by some guy named Banks.
I'm surprised the Browns haven't retired that number, although in a sense they did, I think. A pickup of 5 by the Major, 2nd and 5 on the 47.
St. Louis with almost 3 times as many penalties as the Browns.
Butch goes in motion. They fake the pitch and go to Butch. He's across midfield. He's got the first down and then some. Let's see where they spot the ball.
The sight of Butch Woolfolk catching a football is familiar to the Browns as you see the play action fake and the block out front by Larry Williams. Woolfolk at one time in a ball game against the Browns in recent years caught 8 passes. So the Browns DBs and linebackers know what it's like to see that guy catching the ball against him. Butch Woolfolk out of the University of Michigan, that school up north.
Yeah, you know, this is a lot of families might be watching this, John. Watch your language. A pickup of 13 on the play. It's 1st and 10 at the St. Louis 40. The Cube in motion. And here's the give to Butch. He's got Manoah out front of him. If he can turn the corner, he does, and he's upended there. Charles Wright, Felix's brother, has been hurt through training camp. The Cardinals strung it out pretty good.
Perry Kemp coming in at wide receiver, replacing the Cube. They have worked the Cube into the offense. He's got 1 touchdown via the special teams and 1 through the air.
I think he's caught 3 passes tonight. He's looked pretty sharp. He worked real hard in the offseason to develop his hands. Manoah up the middle for a couple. I'm sorry, that's Butch. Ike Redden made the stop. We're coming down just 5:35 remaining in the game. The Browns on top 31-16. And I would imagine, because when Marty took over, he was on the other side of the score. I remember when he took over for Sam, when the 49ers came in here and beat us up pretty good, that he's probably going to keep it on the ground from here on in. Browns comfortably ahead. Norseth is 3 of 8 for 14 yards, and he'll try pass number 9 here. And that's complete out near first down territory by Gerald McNeil.
Again, we're talking about the 40-second clock. As you see the 4 wide receiver set. We're going right over the middle.
We're going to have an official time out here for a measurement, I believe. Let's see.
St. Louis Cardinals in some lean years, Case.
I'll tell you what's going to be interesting here is if the Browns don't get it, Marty may elect to have JAEGER attempt another field goal rather than go for the first down. Well, point is moot. Cube picks up the first down on the completion from Norseth, and the Browns have a fresh set of downs at the St. Louis 30.
You saw Gene Stallings, the head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he has been a coach for the Dallas Cowboys in their system. And someone remarked that going from the Dallas Cowboys to the St. Louis Cardinals is like going from IBM to the corner grocery store.
Although, you know, before Gene went to Dallas, he worked under Bear Bryant, so he's been tutored under two pretty good coaches. There's David Fry's gang out there, making quick work of the sod. 4:54 remaining. Well, after going 4-0 last year, it would appear that the Browns are going to begin the preseason 1-0.
Well, they're setting the tone, which Marty mentioned. He plays to win, even if it's a preseason game and you have to see a lot of different people. It's nice to win. And I think the defense has gotten the message, although many of those turnovers certainly have a lot to do with this by the Cardinals.
Well, let's face it.
No points this half for the Cardinals.
They're going to get a much better test next week at the Meadowlands. Wolfbrook's lined up as a wide receiver. Here's the give to Tim Manoa. Cracks the left side. Picks up maybe 3. Ron Monaco is there. So is Travis Jackson. That'll make it 2nd down and 7-yard line. 2nd down and 7 at the 27-yard line.
Manoa averaged around 5 yards a carry at Penn State.
Well, in a report that Vince did on Tim last week, he's pretty excited. He actually gets to wear football pants with a stripe on them. That's pretty colorful for a Penn State.
And white shoes even.
Yeah.
High-tech football here.
Butch goes in motion. Play action. Norseth looking in the direction, and Albert Bell, of course, it's an option passing system, and it appeared as though either Mike Norseth or Albert misread the option.
Well, you don't see him here on his screen, but he does slant into the inside, and there's your ball just to the behind side of him and to the right.
Charles Wright was back on the coverage. That'll bring up a 3rd and 8 at the 28.
Marty likes Albert Bell, the way he gets through his routes. He has that step like Brian Brennan. Quickness on the route.
Norseth to Manoa, and he is stacked up right there. That's Colin Scotts, the Aussie.
Aha, now it's time to talk about Mr. Scotts. They found him playing rugby when he was touring with the schoolboy rugby team of Australia. He didn't even know football, as you see the give to Manoa and the tackle there. Colin Scott's case, interesting situation for him, is when he got his first butt pad, he put it on his groin. He didn't know where it was supposed to go.
This is going to be a 48-yard attempt for Jeff Jaeger, who has been perfect on the night, conversions, and earlier hit a 44-yarder here in the 4th quarter. And we've got a flag. It's short. Let's see what the call is, however. Just not quite enough. But they're going to... Okay, so the Browns are going to pick up 5. It's not going to be enough. There's Jim Schaffner. It's not going to be enough for the 1st down. And so Jeff will have another crack from the 43-yard line. It didn't seem to be a problem with the hold or the snap, and in fairness to Jeff, that turf down there is a mess. Remember opening day a few years back when Victor Cruz was on the mound, came in to field a bunt, put on the brakes, and the thing rolled up into a ball just like it did when it came off the sod truck.
Nothing wrong with green pants.
Here we go. The kick, plenty of distance this time, and it is wide. So Jeff misses from 48 and 43 yards, and the Cardinals will take over on their own 26 with 2:57 remaining.
Well, there still are guys on this football team that have not played. I don't believe I've seen Tom Andrews play. Tom out of Padua High School, played for the Chicago Bears.
Well, defensively now, I'm not sure we've seen Mike Degnan. We're going going to take another look. Oh, you can see Jeff slip and go down. Well, you know, the way that knee is tucked under, he's fortunate he didn't hurt himself.
Where he was kicking it from, you saw the sand underneath. It's like beach blanket bingo out there. It's not the best place to, and of course, he doesn't have a tee to kick off. This is the NFL, not college.
The shotgun inside handoff to Eric Drain, who gets a couple of the 28-yard line.
I've always wanted to do this. This telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Browns, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and WJW-TV8 is strictly prohibited. And I mean that because the police are right behind me.
Cardinals, a little confusion there. Second down and 8 after carry by Drain, and they're probably going to go shotgun the rest of the way here. Ken Austin has taken over from Neil Lomax and gone most of the way. There was a pass, and what are we going to get now?
Casey, that's the one-step rule. He went more than a step. He went about 3, it looked like. But he tried to jump over him. Give Reggie credit. He tried to jump over him. The guy was too tall.
It's not Reggie. It's intentional grounding. That's what I was going to say. They could have called him for intentional grounding, and in fact they did. Now watch Reggie, top of the screen, bottom of it.
No, they called it on Reggie.
Oh, okay.
Once he released that ball, Reggie Camp still... I mean, this is interesting. How do you tell these guys to freeze? Now, we play cops and robbers in the front yard as kids, and you try to freeze when they shoot you. It's like telling Greg Louganis to freeze right before he hits the water. Now, how the heck are you going to do that? He tried to jump over him.
It's going to be very controversial, and I don't envy the officials at all in trying to interpret it. First down and 10 at the 42 for St. Louis. Austin back to pass, goes down the sidelines, intercepted by Stephen Bragg. And it looked like he may go away, but Eric Drain was there to make the tackle. And that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning. So with just 2 minutes remaining in the game, there's a timeout on the field following the Stephen Bragg interception. The Browns on top of St. Louis 31-16.
Proud is the feeling when you make a start. It's giving you time and sharing your heart. It's working together and doing your part. Proud is giving something all that you got. Proud to be the one you turn to. Proud to be the one you choose. Proud to be the one you count on. Proud to be your news. Proud to be your news. Proud is the reason that you do your best. It's when you won't settle for anything less. It's making your mark, passing the test. Proud is knowing that she's gonna say yes. Proud to be the one you turn to. Proud to be the one you choose. Proud to be the one you count on. Proud to be your news.
We're News Center 8.
Proud to be your news.
Take a look at the Browns' 5th takeaway of the second half. Pretty good pressure by Reggie Camp. A wobbly throw. Stephen Bragg showing fine athletic ability.
Well, he had deep help from the safety, but he played his man well. And he just makes a nice athletic play here. Little wobbly, as you mentioned, on the pass. That was Wright coming over to help, but Bragg's just elevating. Nice grab by the rookie. And as you mentioned, 5 turnovers this half for the Cardinals, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries.
1:59 remaining in the game. The Browns with the ball at their own 47. They have the ball in the lead at 31-16. The cube in motion, one way, then the other. Here's the flip to Tim Manoah. And he gets maybe a couple of the 49. That'll make it 2nd down and 8. Tim McDonald, who the little I saw of USC on national TV was very impressive with the Trojans. He's 6'2", 207, a number 2 pick. Folks, this has just been your basic ho-hum, hope somebody shows up football game tonight. We only had 78,650 fans in attendance.
And many of them sticking around. There's been a lot of fireworks here in the second half provided by the Browns defense and offense. There will be the fireworks show afterwards, and then the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, will do her thing after those two events, the Browns and the fireworks.
Cardinals are taking a timeout. They have 1 left. We've got 1:38 left in the game.
Well, it'll be interesting to talk to some of the players just about how hot was it down there for him. It was warm enough up here in the booth.
But John,
there's a guy who was hot.
As you and I both know, heat is not a factor when you've got 184 players on the field. There's always fresh legs.
Plus, you don't pay that much attention to the elements when you're trying to fight for your professional life. If you want a job.
Ricky Bolin has played a lot tonight.
Played in there with the starting unit, then he's back in there now in the 4th quarter. I believe George Lilge is at center.
Woolfolk behind Manoah. He follows Manoah, tries the right side, just crosses just into Cardinal territory.
Casey, you saw in 99 Gerald Bayless, that rookie free agent tight end from Bowling Green. He says he needs to work a lot on his blocking, so it'll be interesting to see how he does the rest of the way in camp and preseason games.
I'll tell you what, here's the best news of the night. This is the Cardinals' final timeout.
Here, here, let's have it for him.
With 1:31 remaining in the game. Harry Kemp and Albert Bell check in. I just alluded to it a little bit. But Ray Perkins went down to Tampa Bay and tried to treat those players just like the college players. He held 3-a-days, and at the end of 5 days of practice had 24 injured players and said, gee, I think I'm going to drop one of the workouts.
Well, the Browns are now in the modified portion of camp. You know, their morning workouts are modified, and then they'll go where there won't be but 1 practice per day, which the players look forward to. They get more time in the classroom, as you see some of the 78,000 plus on hand here at the stadium. Before, Case, you saw Huddles, the mascot. PR assistant for the Browns last year, Steve Legursky. He is Huddles. That's one of those major
he probably
facts.
didn't want people to know that, John. Manoah, and he's got room. Cuts off nicely off a block. He's out down near 1st down territory inside the 45.
That was Cullity with the block.
John Preston making the stop. And watch how Tim breaks off the block. Right here. Nice block. Lets him throw it. He's always got something moving. He's, you know, and you don't see a lot of backs these days throw the forearm. He's short of the 1st down, so the Browns will kick it away with 58 seconds remaining. Jeff Gossett will kick. Holmes is deep for St. Louis. Don Holmes.
Or maybe that's Larry Holmes coming out of retirement again.
And the Browns are going to take a delay of game as the clock ran down to 0. You know, that's it. That's interesting. Whenever there's a delay of game in a kicking situation, they always say it's on the kicker, and inevitably the first guy on the field is the kicker.
This should just about do it here as the Chinese fire drill, also known as the second half, winds to a close.
Jeff aiming for the corner. He's going to have another. Oh, he gets a good bounce. Let's see. Another one inside the 20. They'll spot it at the 15, and with 30 seconds left, and the Cardinals trailing 31-16, a 34-yard punt by Gossett. They'll try to. Imagine this is as good a time as any to try the Hail Mary. Now we've got a flag down. And I think we've got an illegal block on St. Louis.
I've got a rule for preseason. No flags inside 2 minutes. especially with the home team ahead 31-16.
Mike Johnson got a little bit frisky. So instead of starting at the 15, the Cards will start at the 30-yard line. 30 seconds left. St. Louis out of timeouts. Pretty good pressure. Austin gets it away to Drain, and Lucius Sanford says, "Have a seat, Eric." And the clock is ticking. We may have one more play.
They want one more off.
And they're already back at the line of scrimmage. You hear the crowd count it down. Austin back to pass. He wanted to go deep. Completes it over the middle to William Harris, and that ends the ball game as he's covered by Jeff Pegues. So the Browns begin the preseason with a rather convincing second half and a convincing final score. That's the end of the game. 31-16 Browns. Stay tuned as Cleveland Browns